How's it going? David from Comic Book Investments. So, got some stuff back from CGC, but I'm so dumb. I'm just so dumb, so dumb. If you guys watched a couple of my last videos, you obviously know that I moved into a different studio, and I can't believe I did this. And the sound wasn't very good for both the episodes. And so the first episode, I just recorded it as normal. And then, I played it back and I was like, oh, it sounds a little weird, but I was playing it through my my laptop speaker. So I thought maybe that was it. And then everyone was complaining, hey, why does it sound so bad? So then I was like, okay, it must be, my first instinct was like, it must be the room. The room must be the issue. Like, I don't have, before I had my wood paneling behind me. And so I was like, maybe that absorbed the sound so it wasn't so echoey. That was my first thought. So I get all this stuff. I put it all up. And then I hit record again, and I listened back to it. I'm like, okay, it sounds a little better, but for some reason it was really loud, with this and the table. And I'm like, okay, so now do I have to get a pad? And then a couple of people commented maybe you're recording through your laptop and not through the microphone. And I'm like, no, I tested it. It should be fine. And then lo and behold, I don't know why this happened, but for some reason it decided to use my microphone on my laptop and not this one. It wasn't turned on in my program over here, which is weird because it's always turned on. I don't know why. I have no idea. And so I checked it again, and it should be good now. Should be coming out of this microphone, no longer out of the laptop over there. So thank you guys for pointing that out. The stupidest thing you could ever imagine. So many times I've recorded a video where I've just recorded the whole thing and didn't even have the mic on, or the camera wasn't really on, all sorts of stuff. I recorded a video three times. There's one of these videos, the sound was on or something like that, so I went and turned it on, and then the next time I forgot to push record. So let's make sure, yes, it is recording. So, all right. So I got some stuff back from CGC. I know I've been busy with the auction, getting out auction books and stuff like that. Thanks for everyone that, participated in the auction, whether you consigned or whether you bid on some stuff. Happy for all the winners, all that stuff. We have another auction coming up. So if you want to consign stuff to us, we are 5%. That is it, 5%. We are by far, no one's even close to us, the cheapest in the industry. 5%, we do everything. That means all you have to do is get the books to us. However you do that, you can do them, most people ship them, but you could do it by camel. You could do it by parachuting down and giving it to us, however you want to. We take them, we picture them, we list them, we put them in our auction, and then we ship them out to the new person, and then we collect the payment and then pay you. And we only take 5% for that. So good deal. Very, very good deal. So yeah, let's get into some comic books. So hopefully, it should be working now. We'll see. All right. So last week, I showcased a bunch of Spawn newsstands. Well, I got more in. That was 1 through 9 or something like this. This is 10 through 23 or something like that. So I got a ton of newsstands. If you like the newsstands, all pretty much 9/8. Some of these, obviously top grade, and some of these are literally the only one. The only one. So, one of one, so to speak. So what is this? 10? Number 10? Newsstand. Thought it was nice. It came back in 9/8. $9.99. Yes, some of these newsstands are very, very expensive. We got number 12 here. Let's move it so it's not so shiny. All right. Came back great. I wanted 600. So hopefully this is working. I'm hoping the sound, because I hate recording something twice. Because everything I do, usually in these types of videos, are just off the cuff. So if I say jokes, say something funny, or rant, I can't redo that. I can't find that passion again. So it's very hard to do that. 13th came back great. I wanted $3.99. It's something I never really had to think about. Now I'm constantly thinking about it. What number is this? 16. Came back great. I wanted newsstand as well. $4.29. All these will be newsstand. And to give some context of newsstand, why is it worth more? When is it worth more? Stuff like that. So I believe it is in the late 70s. I want to say the late 70s. They started noticing that comic shops started popping up, and they could before. Okay, so the way it worked before is you would send it to like a newsstand or a grocery store or something like that, and then if they didn't sell the book, they would basically rip off the top label. That's how you get a remainder copy. They'd rip off this top part up here, and they would send it back to the distributor, and the distributor would refund you. But they started noticing around the late 70s that comic shops started popping up, so they did a new deal with them. And so instead of like, buying this for example, $1.95, they would give them a discount, and the newsstand, then you'd ship it back and you get some of the money back. They started what they do with Direct is they're like, look, we'll give you like 50% off cover price, but you keep the book. And so they started doing that. So they don't need this UPC code anymore to like scan or input in their system. So it was just comic book shops Direct would buy them in bulk, and as time went on, that became the preferred method, obviously because the distributors hated refunding. So that became the preferred method. So as time goes on, like if you're looking like early 80s or something like that, newsstand to directs, there was actually more newsstands than there were directs. But the reason why newsstands are slightly more expensive in the 9.8 and 9.6 range, because think about a newsstand. Kids come, they read the comics with their sticky little fingers, they put it back, and they never actually buy it. So it actually becomes rare to get a high grade in a newsstand. And then as time goes on and you're getting into the 90s, now it's something like 5 to 10% of all comics made of this particular book were newsstand editions, because newsstands was falling out of fashion. No one really liked doing it anymore. They just want to go direct to comic shops. So not only do you have it only like 5 to 10% of the entire print run is newsstands, but now on top of that, you also have like people rifling through it, damaging it, things like that. So they get vastly more expensive. And I want to say that Marvel stopped doing newsstands probably in like around the 2010s. So anywhere between like 2011 to 2014, I don't know, somewhere around there, they just stopped completely. But once you get up to that, era, you're looking at like 1 to 2% of all comics were newsstand editions by then. In the 90s, it was like probably 10, depending when in the 90s, it could be as low as 5 all the way up to like probably like 20%. But yeah, so that's why newsstands are way more expensive, but they only really matter in the top grades. So it's like a 9.8 is probably going to be like, depending on how rare, what time period it is, it could be, 2 to 4 to 5 times more expensive than the counterpart, maybe even 10 times more expensive than the counterpart of the direct edition. 9.6 is like slightly more, maybe you might be able to get double in some cases where it's pretty rare. But 9.4 is just slightly more. It's just like, 10 to 25% more. All right, number 17. God, I hope the microphone's working. I don't want to re-say that all again. $2.99. Number 18, $5.99. And you might be wondering, it's like, oh, the price difference are way different. And it comes down to the population. So like, I think, don't quote me, I can't remember exactly, but like something like this, why is this one, both newsstand 9.8s, why is this one more expensive than the other one? I think this has a population report, meaning that there's only about like 5 or 4. So that means this is one of 5, one of 4 that exists in a 9.8 newsstand. While something like this, I think this one down here, it's like 1 of 10. So a little more common, not super common, but more common. And here we go. This one is very expensive. This would be the most expensive one. Number 19, a newsstand edition, $14.99. Now you wipe that. Why is that all of a sudden $1,500 compared to these other ones that are the $400 to $500 range? This is the only one right here. This one right here is the only one that is a 9.8 newsstand that exists. Now, is that saying that they don't exist somewhere out there? Yeah, sure, maybe someone has one. But as far as the 9.8 newsstand, this is the only one. There is no other one. That's it. No other ones. So, very expensive. Spawn number 20. 299. So this one had a much lower population, or higher number population report. So there's probably a lot more of that one. And then we got this one I thought was cool. I got actually like 30 of these, not all 9/8. I got 30 of them like raw. I don't know, either someone had 30 or these are direct. Maybe they had a distribution box or something like that. And this one came back in 9/8. Most of the other ones had like this little like cut up here, and all of them then obviously weren't candidates for 9/8. So this is the only one I think of that lot that I got back. 169. That's not that expensive. All right, we got Nick Fury number 1. Came back great. I wanted 249. I don't think I got any big surprises here, any that I know of in grades. Star Trek number 1. I got a couple of these. Okay, here's kind of good surprise. I thought it'd be 6.0. Got 7.0. 7.99. So right here is we got the first Captain America appearance since 1954. It's right here, but he has like these like dark purple, dark blue shorts that aren't right. This turns out to be with the acrobat. So what happened was for this one, Strange Tales 114, is they wanted to bring back Captain America. Now Captain America has disappeared from comic book lore since 1954. That rhymed. And and so they wanted to bring him back, but they didn't know how well he'd be received. So they kind of did a test to see what it'd be like. People liked it. So then they went and made Avengers 4, which was actually, the rebirth of Captain America. But this is actually a person in disguise, but they had Captain America on the cover. They wanted to see how well this would sell. Here we go. We got a prototype of Doctor Doom right here. Tales of Suspense 31. So what they would do a lot of times is they would make like prototypes or test, or it's almost like the artist is testing characters out, or like most things evolve over time. So they do something like this, and then I think it had been Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, Jack Kirby, yeah. You test it out, and you're like, wow, I really like that cover I did a long, long time ago, and I really like the mask. That beast wore. And so then you kind of take that mask, and then you have a new villain concept, and you're like, I really like that idea that I used here, so I'm going to use part of that idea over here, and over here, and over here, and over here. And so then you get like prototypes, them testing out things, them as an artist or writer doing things that they like, and then they repurpose later. So that's what that one is. It's not like they're trying to make Doctor Doom and they made this. They just probably like the color scheme, and then like this, like certain things stand out. And so this is a one-off monster story, and then they're like, oh, we like the green with that mask. That looks really cool. Maybe Stan Lee was like, Jack Kirby, for my new character, Doctor Doom, remember that character you did, that beast in Tales of Suspense 31? They're like, oh, yeah, totally, sure. And they're like, use that again. So W50 got a 6.0, 7.99. So there's a lot of prototypes. There's a prototype for the Hulk, more of like in name. I mean, the Hulk is kind of a cool name, just the Hulk. Very cool name. There's a prototype for Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Professor X, Magneto. I'm trying to remember. There's a lot of different like prototypes is what they call them. Tales of Suspense 48. That'd be 4 or 5 got a 6, so that's good. 449. I always remember this. This was like one of the. I remember like working hard to get this book from my dad. Yeah, Tales of Astonished 60. I remember I didn't like this cover because I always thought like Hulk kind of looked weird looking. I liked 59 better, but this one I had in a higher grade. I think my 59 was just pretty beat up. That'd be 6.0, 149. Tomb of Dracula, number 1. 259. Came back great. I wanted. First appearance of Nebula. interesting. No, Nubia. Yeah, Nubia. First appearance in Nubia. I think that's how you say it. Nubia. Nubia. I'm probably wrong. Came back, Greater Wanted. She's actually the first female black superhero. I don't know if it says it on here. Nope. But that's interesting because a lot of people think Storm, but Storm came out in 75, and I believe it's 73. Yep, 73. So, yeah. Found that out the other day. I was doing research on a new video I'm going to do. Probably take me a while to get out, but I will do it. X-Men 10, first appearance, Silver Age appearance of Kazar and, what's it? Zabu, Sabretooth. I had this one as well when I was a kid because I liked the Sabretooth. Thought it'd be 5-0, got a 6-0, 329. And last here, we got this X-Men Neal Adams cover. Got a bunch of X-Men Neal Adams stuff. They thought they would get Neal Adams to save the X-Men. It did not happen. And they got canceled. They did reprints. And it wasn't until they basically did a brand new X-Men with, Nightcrawler, Colossus, Storm, blah, blah, blah. At it. Became huge book for them. 199. Thought it'd be 9. I got an 8.5. That is it. Again, all this stuff is on collectorscomics.com. Head on over there if you see anything here you like. Get it before it's gone. And yeah, basically we put up all this stuff onto eBay over the weekend. So basically you got first come, first serve. Probably when this stuff should be on the website by the time you see this video. And if you have anything you want to consign to us. Again, 5%, cheapest in the industry. Have a great day.